Welcome to the newest edition of I Just Be Talking. I'm your host, Kajara Holloway. And today's episode, I decided to title it, Let's Make a Change. I think in today's world, specifically right now in society, 2023, it is imperative. It behooves you to make a change, because staying the same pretty much lends you to being left behind. And it's not just, I'm not speaking just financially, spiritually, physically, mentally. Just it's a cornucopia of things really that all gather up to define where you are in society. And not saying that you should be here or there, but for yourself, perspective is what I'm talking about. And the main thing we should do to change is three things, I think. First one is we need to change our mentality. Second thing is we need to change our diet. And third thing is we need to change our priorities. So you may ask yourself, what's some things I can do to change my mentality? And I believe something that we should all do is stop comparing ourselves to other people. Social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because social media can be a tool used to learn and network and, build a brand, broaden your horizons, see things that you wouldn't see otherwise without having to get on an airplane and go there. But it can also be detrimental to your mental health. If you get on social media and you see somebody half your age making triple what you make in a year, in 1 month, you'll pretty much think that you're a failure. You shouldn't think that way, because you have no idea what that person's life is really like. But you're comparing your life to their life. I've fallen victim to that before. I'm sure everybody has. You see somebody, you may be 25 and you see somebody that's 19 walking around with stacks and stacks of cash, and they got the diamond chains and they driving in the big fancy cars and got a big old house. And you may think, wow, I suck. This person's got it figured out. And I'm a fart in the wind. A lot of times it's not what it appears. Some of these people, man, they're living a fallacy. It's not what it really is. And by you identifying yourself with them, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed with accomplishments that you should be proud of. Getting a job that pays decently, being able to pay your rent, man. Like that's not being able to pay your rent and have excess money to do other things. That's not something you should just turn your nose up to and just think, I'm just making it, barely making it or whatever. But that's something you should be proud of. Getting a promotion, graduating, just stuff that things that we identify as simple stuff. The dopamine hit just doesn't hit the same. That's why you got people out there scamming. You know what I mean? Like, they need that money quick to be relevant, to feel important. They need the money to fill a void. Money can't unlame a lane. I'll say that much and leave it at that. I'm sure we all know what that means. Something else, man. I mean, just being around people that are successful and comparing yourself to them, that can be that for someone that really wants to be successful in life, that should be the thing that you want to do. But for folks that have this mentality, this crabs in a barrel, this oh it could never happen to me mentality, being around others, being around successful people when you yourself aren't what you would deem successful yet, that could be a big hindrance because you're comparing yourself to them. Mr. Bob been working for 50 years to build up his, Fortune 500 company, and you and Mr. Bob met at a bowling alley and became friends. So now you see Mr. Bob going on fishing trips every weekend, and throughout the week he's buying trucks and different stuff like that, and you think, wow, I really suck. But you don't suck. Mr. Bob's been working at this for 50 years. You're just starting. What you should be doing is taking all of the information that Mr. Bob has right now and absorbing it, locking it away and keeping it in your pocket, because Mr. Bob worked out all the kinks so you don't have to. So you can be just as successful as Mr. Bob. But if you got this mentality of, man, Mr. Bob, man, he had everything handed to him and this and that and blah, blah, blah. That's not the recipe for success. I'm telling you, man, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people really find somebody that I guess you kind of consider a mentor. They find people that they would consider a mentor, and they run with it, man, and become something. And also, another thing, don't ever say it's too late for me to do something. It's too late for me to try something, because it's not. It's never too late. I'm sure we've all seen those stories of people, they'll graduate college and at 80 years old, 70 something years old. They had no reason to do that. You know what I mean? They're in the twilight years of their life, but they said, you know what? I started something, so I'm going to finish it. We should have that as young people. We should have that same mentality right now. If there's something that you want to try, do it. You want to start a new trade? You want to learn a new skill? You want to jump into a new career? Do it. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying figure out the steps that you need to take to do whatever you have in mind to do. If you want to become, I don't know, if you want to become a nurse, you already got a degree in something way in left field, but you want to become a nurse, guess what you got to do? Talk to people that are nurses, see what they did, find out if there's scholarships that you could apply for. What, who do you need to talk to? What do you need to do? And then do it. This applies to a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I mean, not just your mind, because being what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I'll come back to that if it comes to me, but holding on to something that you wish you could do when it's right there within arm's reach. I mean, I already talked about social media. You can look up anything. Go on YouTube. You can learn to do anything on YouTube and TikTok as well, if it's still here, if they don't ban it. But you can do anything. You can learn to do whatever you want. It's never too late. And don't think your age applies to whether or not you can do something. Because I'm here to tell you, you can do anything you put your mind to. My grandfather used to tell me that all the time. Something else, man, changing that mentality is to develop a routine. The first thing you should do if you want to develop a routine is wake up earlier. And this, I'm not talking about people that got to get up at 3 in the morning to be to work at 4. I'm not talking about y'all, cause you got your own thing going on. I'm talking about my 9 to 5ers. You need to wake up earlier. If you got to be at work for 8, ain't no reason you need to be getting up at 7:30. You need to get up earlier so that you can have a routine to follow. The way you start your day is how you finish your day, and the way you start your week is how you finish your week. It's a simple equation, and it's real. Um, you should be able to plan your day. If you know if you know you have a job where, oh excuse me, I bumped the mic. You have a set schedule. You get here then, you get off then. You should be able to plan your day. You should be able to plan pretty much everything out, not to the hour and not to the minute, but have pretty much a scale of how much time you're gonna allot for specific things if your job, has the ability for you to do that. And while you're planning your day, you should also be strategizing for your future. I'm sure we've all had the conversation with teachers when we were in high school about our 5-year plan. What are you going to do? And what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What do you want to be doing in the next 5 years? At that time, when I was in high school and I got asked that question, I don't even know I have no idea what I told these people. It was probably a lie because I had no idea what I wanted to do in the next 5 years. No idea. The people, classmates telling me, oh, I want to be this. I want to do that. I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to graduate from here and then get this degree and blah, 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 blah. I had no idea. So I probably just said whatever they said because at that time I was a follower. And I'm not even ashamed to say it because I'm not a follower now. But then at that point in time, I was a follower. I had no idea. But again, time does not matter. I'm 28 now, and I'm planning for my future. You should be doing the same at whatever age you are. If you're 28, 38, 48, 58, you should still be planning for what you want in life for yourself. Just to kind of put a bow on the mentality part of this is meditation, because it's key. You need to put time aside to reflect on your goals, reflect on your ideas, and reflect on your past, because your past is important to kind of give you a blueprint for your future. For me, meditation is when I wake up in the morning, I go to the restroom, go to the bathroom, and I pray. A lot of times it's not a really long prayer. And sometimes it's more of a conversation between me and God. Just asking him to guide me. And if he's trying to tell me something, I ask him to make it clear, because sometimes I don't be getting the message like I should. But, I ask God to make it clear for me so I don't confuse it. I don't misconstrue it. I don't, interpret it the wrong way. So I talk to God and ask him every morning to make everything clear for me and guide me and give me the strength that I'm gonna need for that day. But that's just also meditation is also expounding on your spiritual journey. Where are you in your spiritual journey? That should be a question, that you should only be you should be the only person, to answer that question. Where are you in your spiritual journey? I can proudly say that I feel as though my relationship with my God, my Savior, is stronger than it's ever been. Simply because I've spent more time with Him and more time with Him, just talking to Him, learning about Him, and He already knows me, so He doesn't have to learn about me. But I learn more about myself as well by talking to Him, and that's something that really helps with your mind, believe it or not. Something else, man, we should really change the way we speak. I mean, we speak a lot of death over ourselves, a lot of negativity over ourselves. We joke, we think that what we say doesn't really matter. So we got sayings like, when you hear something really funny, you're like, "Oh, I'm dead," "I'm dying," when you mess up, you say, "Man, I'm stupid. I suck." Blah blah blah. Watch your mouth. Watch what you say, because there is power in the tongue. It's not as simple as just believing it. You have to actually know it. Everything that you're saying means something. I'm only gonna have 2 points today, but the second point I'm gonna make is changing our diet, physically and mentally. Change what you digest every day. But for now, I'm gonna talk about food, physical. So, for what you eat controls what you feel to a degree. There are microbes in your gut that produce pretty much signals. One of them is dopamine. I've already talked about dopamine. Dopamine is that it gets released into the bloodstream a lot of times when you're doing something that you love, and it's kind of giving you that feeling like, you eat a honey bunny, just like, "Oh man, this is so good." You get your cinnamon roll, cheeseburger, all that stuff like that, man. But a lot of that stuff regulates your mood and your emotion. And people that have big mood swings are a lot of times really messed up on the inside, gut wise, because of what they're eating. When you cut sugar from your diet, you feel hungry, you feel trembling, shaking, and sweating. You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like you're going through withdrawal from a hard drug. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and just point the finger at you, because I still eat sugar. I phase it out when I can. I like the Coke Zero sugars. A lot of people, they want to argue, "Oh, that's just blah blah blah," but if you drinking water from the fountain, you can't tell me nothing about a Coke Zero. That's all I'm saying. But when I can cut processed sugar out of my diet, I try to, and I can attest that it has helped my mood stay a lot more level. I don't really have a lot of high highs and super super low lows. My mood is pretty streamlined. I'm really chill, and I want to attest it to my food, attribute it to what I'm eating. But eating right doesn't mean you need to starve yourself. A healthy diet is a balanced diet. Like, if you eat 5 really good dinners throughout the week, you're making it to where it'll be less detrimental to your health for you to eat something that's not so good, throughout the weekend. But anyway, I'm not a dietitian, not a nutritionist, but I will tell you this. Food is really fuel and nothing else. Your body doesn't know that a cheeseburger is your cheat meal. It don't. It don't know that a carrot is you eating healthy. It does not know. It knows nutrients and vitamins. That's it. So keep that in mind whenever you're trying to change your diet for weight loss or for health reasons. It's fuel. What you put out is what you get. What you put in is what you get out, and it's as simple as that. But there's no reason for me to, ramble on anymore. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, comment. If you listen on Spotify, go ahead and rate the video. I'm sorry, rate the podcast. Tell me how I sound. If you're not already doing it, follow the Instagram page. I Just Be Talking Podcast on Instagram. And please, if you're liking what you're hearing, why don't you come back next week and see what I got to say. Love y'all. Peace.